Good evening, and welcome to this week in review. Tonight's stories include interview with Kathy Cutler about the Seniors Information Fair, Ground Search and Rescue Skidoo Ride, the Grade 7 Water Project. These stories, plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
After you've seen the whales and the icebergs and the fjords, come witness a natural wonder. A Saturday night, St. John's, Newfoundland. Imagine that.
On Sunday, March the 30th, we were invited to the Ground Search and Rescue building for presentations to those who took part in the Skidoo Ride. The Ground Search and Rescue Skidoo Ride went ahead on Saturday, March the 29th, with 12 riders participating. These individuals raised $2,223. All proceeds will be used to purchase necessary equipment for the rescue team. The riders left from Buck Lake for a 130-kilometer ride to different parts of the region. Businesses around town were very generous with their donation. This enabled the Ground Search and Rescue team to give out prizes to those who raised money for them. Andy Porter raised $410, which was among one of the highest amounts. Last year, the Lioness Club prepared soup and sandwiches for the riders' return. However, this year, due to the low number of riders, their services wasn't required. The Ground Search and Rescue generously gave a donation to the Lioness anyway. One of the ride coordinators, Ralph Porter, thanked everyone for their support.
On behalf of the Birds of Ground Search and Rescue, I'd like to take this time to thank the business for their sponsorship, donation, and prizes for the riders that participated on the ride. I'd like to thank the individuals around town, both in and out of town, for their sponsorship. Without them, of course, we wouldn't be raising the money, which is what the ride is all about. I'd also like to thank the riders for their participation. Unfortunately, we only had a few riders, and 3 or 4 couldn't make it, so that cut the numbers down again. I want to especially thank the Lioness for their patience. We've had them on hold for 4 weekends. Going to make the soup, not going to make the soup, and so on and so forth. But anyway, they were very patient with us, and I'd like to thank them for that. Most of all, though, I'd like to thank the committee members who insisted that a ride would definitely go ahead. And even though Craig is not there, he said we're definitely going somewhere. And where he's at, I don't know. But anyway, having said that, we're going to make some presentations to the riders and what have you.
Eugene Ball, team leader, thanked the ride coordinators for organizing the Skidoo Ride.
Thank Ralph and the committee. I don't know who was on it. It was Art Green and Junior and Romaine Disclosure, Michael Ball, Danny Buffett, and Craig Reynolds. Is that everybody? Done an excellent job this year and last year with the Skidoo committee and stuff. So we're going to be getting a new building pretty soon, and the money raised from this will probably go into build the new building. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Congratulations to the Ground Search and Rescue on a successful fundraiser. On Tuesday of this week, we were once again invited back to the school. This time, the grade 7 class were testing their IA water project. In this project, students put into practice the 6 steps of design process. In groups of 3 or 4, students come together and come up with a company name and a logo. Their challenge is to design a boat no bigger than 12 inches by 4 by 4 that will keep an ice cream cone dry. The first step in the design is to identify the need. Next, they gather information. Then they come up with alternative solutions is the next step. From there, the students decide to select what they think is the best solution and implement the solution. The last and most fun step is the evaluation, which is what they were doing on Tuesday. The first group with the company name Tropic Delight was Christopher Domine, Cody Randall, and Travis Bond. Cones R Us with Jake Anderson, Alicia Ann, and Shane Krant tested their boat. Danielle Strickland, Jennifer Green, Gabrielle Pink, and Nikki Porter with Crunchtopia had a few design problems with their boat, but before the testing was complete, all the bugs were ironed out. Courageous Cones with Matthew McDonald, Thomas Power, and Nolan Short were successful with their test subject. The final company, Crunchy Munchy Cones, with founders Jennifer Ingram, Justin Coley, Justin Courtney, and Shelley Janes, also experienced a few problems. However, before the testing was complete, they too passed with flying colors. Plans are being made to carry out more test runs later in the spring. On Tuesday of this week, we had several people telling us about more ice off the government wharf. This time it is believed that this ice may be from the ice flow in the Gulf region that has been causing problems for the ships and the Gulf ferries. Because of the ice, the Ramia ferry tied up at the fish plant wharf. By mid-afternoon, the ferry went back to the government wharf to pick up the traffic for a return trip to Ramia. Many of our senior residents have said this is the first time they have seen this much ice in quite a number of years. It's a great opportunity for our photographers to get some wonderful shots. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
This is the place where the dawn breaks earliest, the new year comes soonest, where the Atlantic first meets the New World, the oldest city in North America, the far east of the Western world. Imagine that.
On Thursday of this week, Kathy Cutler with the Help Committee dropped by our studio to talk about the Seniors Information Fair coming up in April. We have with us in our studio today Kathy Cutler, and Kathy is representing the Help Committee, right?
Yep.
And you guys are having a Seniors Information Fair on Tuesday, April the 29th.
Right.
Now, I know you're celebrating your 10th anniversary this year. Is this part of the celebrations?
Kind of. The Help Committee is celebrating its 10th year serving the community of Burgeo, and certainly a part of the celebrations. A lot of people on the Help Committee can't believe that it has been 10 years. I haven't been here that long; it's only 6.5. But there are a number of members still with us who started, 10 years ago, right? But it's certainly something that the Help Committee sees as very important, and we're service oriented. We do things for the community, so we see Seniors Resource Centers fitting, Seniors Information Fair is fitting really well with our mandate, right?
Okay.
Mm. Yeah.
So I believe you had some...
Yeah, because I guess a lot of times we find that we hear, I guess, through different people, people aren't really familiar what the Help Committee is, or we have notions in our head of what we think it is, and some partly true or not, right? So I guess part of the reason I wanted to come today too was to kind of educate people on what the Help Committee actually does.
Okay.
We are not a group of people that counsel people. We don't do that. We're not a intervention group in that sense, but what we do is we're a group of community members, professionals who get together and discuss, I guess, community concerns and try to advocate for ways to deal with those concerns. So over the years, we've had, the last few years, we've had planning days at the beginning of the year. So we get together and we meet and we decide, like, what are the issues that we want to work on for this year. So obviously for this year, one of our things was around seniors. how can we provide a service to seniors. In past years, well, as you are aware, because you've helped out, the BVS has been involved lots of times, you know, the community feud, the Who Wants to Win game. So a lot of those activities are around education. So our main role, I guess, and one of the main things that we do is education and awareness, because we believe the first step in prevention and intervention is becoming educated and aware. People a lot of times aren't aware of services that are available, of just information in general. Before, you know, we need to have that information before we can act on it. So part of our role is that, right, to inform. We also have a video library, a fairly extensive video library that people can borrow, you know, and their topics are ranged. We get a lot of students actually come up and borrow them for different projects in school. But the topics range usually from, you know, more social concern areas, sort of like we have videos on date rape, you know, domestic violence, alcohol and drug use, you know, abuse, different forms of abuse, right? Child sexual abuse, child abuse. You know, so there's, you know, a wide range of videos. We just purchase, like every year we usually try to purchase 3 or 4 different videos, and we just purchase a whole whack again. And we also get supported in our efforts with the video library and information by the Western Regional Coalition in Violence. Now that's a group that started basically in Corner Brook, and it's affiliated with the provincial group. But the Western Regional Coalition in Violence gives us some funding to help us do some of the things, some of the activities that you have filmed and stuff like that. We didn't have that before. Our only source of funding was the bingo once a year, and we would do what we could with that. But now we have a little bit extra funding, which helps us a lot to carry out some of the things like the seniors information fair or like the community feud, providing, you know, a nice social atmosphere as well as the education. And
so you spoke about your ALP committee members. It's not just professionals, is it? There's some.
Oh yes. We encourage. Actually, I mean, you know, it's not for me to come in and say, oh, this is what we need to do. It's what the community feels we need to do, right?
Okay.
So it's not just professionals. No, it's definitely, you know, we encourage community members to become part. We really want, you know, the general community to be aware of what we're doing.
A variety of people there.
Yes.
Yeah, because
definitely,
the wider, excuse me, the wider variety of people you got, the more wider your ideas are going
Definitely,
to be.
yeah.
I know, because different people perceive things differently.
Exactly,
obviously.
right? Yeah, and everybody there has their own ideas what the issues are, and you know, we certainly encourage that people to join. And if anybody want any extra information on Help Committee, they can certainly call myself. I mean, at my office, right? I can give them information. But yes, if anybody got an interest in social issues and, you know, feel like they want, you know, that they would like to get involved in any way like that, this is certainly the place for them. And we certainly encourage that, right?
But you are sponsoring the information.
We are, yeah. That was one of our projects this year. We just did a Who Wants to Win, you know, that, and before that we did the Community Feud. That was big jobs organized, so these, you know, events for the community. So now the Seniors Information Fair is the our, you know, one of our major activities for April, and so we're hoping it's going to be a really, you know, fun-filled afternoon. As you said before, it was on April 29th between 1 and 4, and we have a variety of activities to, you know, kind of, you know, keep the day flowing really nice and smooth kind of thing. It's not just...
Okay, well, it says there, this will be an afternoon of facts, food, and fun. So I'm assuming you're going to be providing the seniors with some information on issues related to them.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to have a number of booths, information booths. I'm not sure the exact number now, but I know there are going to be, like I know that there will be one on, like the public health nurses are going to be doing blood pressure checks. That's one thing. We're going to have one on prescription safety. Miranda at the drugstore is going to be giving some information around prescription safety. The police will be there, right? Seniors fraud, a lot of telephone scams, that kind of thing. So we're going to be doing ABCs of fraud, I think it is. And that might be the bank doing that one, I'm not really sure. But there are a number of different booths that we really try to see what are the issues that would be concerning seniors. And so there will be a number of booths. But along with that, throughout the afternoon, we're going to be having different draws and prizes. you know, to kind of, you know, because we want this to be fun. We don't want it to be, right? So,
Yeah.
so
Like you're talking about booths. So obviously the seniors are not going to be sitting all the time
No.
with somebody talking to them for a couple of hours.
No.
They can go to whatever booth is
Yep.
of interest to them.
Exactly.
Find out the information.
Exactly,
Okay,
right?
okay.
We do have one guest speaker. Yvonne Jacobs from the Seniors Resource Center in St. John's is coming out, and she's going to be having a booth there as well. But she will be having a a little speech, I guess, or a little presentation at 2:30 in the afternoon. So, you know, chairs will be provided to people, you know, because obviously we know we won't be standing for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have that situation, we're going to have that set up so that, you know, they will be able to sit down if they, when they need to, right, when they feel they have to. And she will be speaking, but that's the only one that's actually going to be speaking. We're going to have, you know, different situations. I know somebody from the hospital is going to be doing like active lifestyle, so doing stretching exercises. And so there's a whole realm of different activities. You know, the ministers are going to be there. We're, you know, 2 of the ministers we hope will be able to attend and provide like prayer for us. We're going to have food. You always got to have food.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have lots of food and tea and we're also having entertainment. We have a number of people volunteered now for the last hour while we're having our snacks and stuff, and you know, playing guitar and providing some entertainment for us. So so that's, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I just want to remind, we're saying Seniors Information Fair. You know, so I know a lot of people, you know, what's the age there, right? But even if you are not a senior and you're going to be, we're all going to be seniors at some point, but if we're, you know, in our late 50s, and even though we may not consider ourselves seniors, this may still be the place for you to get a lot of valuable information, you know, about income supports and, you know, those types of things that are going to be a concern for you in a few years. So this would be a really good opportunity for even those people who may not be, you know, seniors as such, but would like some information, you know, becoming more aware of some of the issues that might be affecting them as they get older.
And many of our seniors, obviously, and you have a note down the bottom of your page that they don't have their own transportation, but you guys will be arranging transportation. So don't stay away because there's no transportation. You call, I believe it's Ada, Ada Baxter, right?
Yeah.
2294, and you?
Yep.
Yeah, 2185 to arrange for transportation to and from.
Yes.
So, you know, don't stay home because, you know, I don't want to take a taxi up, it's going to cost me or whatever.
Yes, we know that's a big thing for seniors, transportation. So we've arranged for, you know, we want, I guess, the number of we want people to call in with their names, and we will arrange for somebody, you know, a taxi to come to pick you up and bring you up, as well as take you home at the end of the day, right?
And this will be free of charge, obviously.
And this is free of charge,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the whole afternoon is free of charge. It's, you know, just come and enjoy it and try to get, you know, take something away, information, have some fun. So we're hoping, you know, that's what occurs, right? So we're encouraging people to call in. Now, I had on our little information sheet that we were posting around town, it said April the 4th, you know, but anybody can call in, like, you know, once they get this notice, when they see this on TV, right? Don't feel like because the deadline's passed you can't call in. Please call in anyway, and we certainly would, you know, the more the merrier as well, I guess. So we'd like to see a whole bunch of seniors come out. If people aren't able to come by themselves, if they want to bring a family member who's younger, don't feel you can't come. I mean, you know, bring your mom up or bring, you know, whatever, your grandmother up, and spend the afternoon with them, right?
Okay.
I think it'd be fun like that.
All right. I think we covered just about everything, didn't we? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, so we're really hoping it's going to be a fun afternoon, and we hope to see a lot of seniors and near seniors come out and enjoy it, and obviously, Marie, for you to come up too.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for the invitation, and we look forward to it.
Okay, thank you.
We welcome back with us this evening Mayor Ann with the Council Report.
Good evening. And it's good to be back in Burjo again, and to be back at the regular duties, I guess, of trying to inform you what's going on with the town. Seems as if winter is still hanging on. It's warming up a little bit, but not as much as we would like for it to. Anyway, I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Linehan and the council for carrying on during my absence. And I must say, from looking at the minutes and so on, I think they were fairly busy and did a good job. this evening I'm going to give the report, and that not only will it cover the meeting which we held last night, and we had 7 members in attendance, by the way, at our meeting on Wednesday, April the 2nd, but I understand you didn't get a report for March the 5th and March the 19th, so I went back over the minutes and picked up a few things there that I thought you might be interested in. So it's a council report, and just what meeting it all came from, you know, they could run together. Anyway, one of the things is, you know, over the past few years we've been, this town has taken part in Tidy Towns, and last year I think it was a general agreement, you know, that we probably weren't going to get any closer to winning the Tidy Towns awards than we have come. So anyway, the council decided that this year, the year 2003, the Burgeo Town Council will not be taking part in the Tidy Towns competition. However, having said that, you know, we'll still be encouraging people to keep their property up and to make Burgeo look as tidy as we would like to see it. And we feel most certain that even though we're not a member of the Tidy Towns competition this year, that you will do your best to keep your town up to scratch. I got to mention seals again, because over the years, well, ever since 2001, I guess it was, we got into trying to get a seal thing for Burgeo. We were assured in January of 2002 or February 2002, one of it, that in the year 2003 there will be no seals going out of Newfoundland in a non-processed state. There was no legislation put through to that effect, and council wrote letters. Anyway, the new Minister of Fisheries, Yvonne Jones, replied to council, and in that letter, you know, she commented that it's more of a voluntary thing, that it's up to the processors whether they do them to the garment stage. They're being encouraged to do it, but they're not being legislated to do it. And with regard to the increase in quota hen seals, she doesn't feel that there's enough quota increase to sustain another tannery. So I guess we can chalk that up as one more initiative gone down the chute. The Burgeo Town Council adopted a motion now whereby there's going to be a change in the zoning, and they have requested Municipal Affairs to rezone Burgeo to all mixed development. And what this does is it gives the council more control on building. It doesn't mean, you know, that you can build anything anywhere, but it does give the council more say into just what goes whether it's a business or a residential. And I guess council felt that, and I feel also, that it does give the council more maneuvering room with regard to applications which might come before it, rather than going through this long, drawn-out process of someone wanting to put in a certain facility, and then you're going to have to rezone just this little part of town, and then next month you've got to do another little part of town. So anyway, council has adopted this policy of having Burgeo rezoned all mixed development. Water treatment plant, since I came back, we held this meeting with Atlantic Engineering and the contractor Brooks Construction, and there seemed to be some hang up with regard to shop drawings, and the council wasn't sure just what the engineer was referring to when they were talking about shop drawings. Anyway, this water treatment plant, the equipment is manufactured per specific job. So therefore the manufacturers submitted to the engineers copies of the drawings of the equipment which they will be supplying. And this meant that the engineers had to go over these drawings with a fine-tooth comb to make certain that the equipment that was being supplied is compatible and would do the job for which we want it to do. So that's been done, and the engineers came down with a schedule. Excuse me, I lost the microphone there. The engineers came down with an engineering schedule as to the way they, construction schedule as to how they foresee the project going ahead. And they've got a startup date really of April, and you know, they've got a lot of pipe on site. But the main thing is that the latter part of April, there will probably be some work going ahead on phase 2, and they're estimating about the end of August that the job will be completed. So you know, it's not too bad, providing it goes as they're saying, or as they hope it will go. I did bring up to the engineer again about the quality of the water he expects there, and I don't know how many of you people buy this bottled water, but if you do, if you look on the bottle, most bottled water that I've seen anyway, you see that word ozonated. Well, that's what your water's going to be, and the engineer told me that he wouldn't be at all surprised if we couldn't bottle the water and sell it. That will be supplied to Burgeo once our system goes on stream. Our system will be much, much larger than the town of Burgeo requires, and the reason for that, of course, we had it designed and done with the hope that someday the fish plant would come back in operation. That's not looking good, but in the meantime, you know, the capacity is there, so who knows, maybe there's something we can do in that regard. Another thing which we've been looking into is the old water lines around town, and it's what you call cleaning the lines out. The engineers are estimating that will cost $100,000. And at our meeting last night, we gave approval authority to the engineers to go to government and try get the funding to have this done. I don't think the town is prepared to put any more money in, but it's just a case of trying to catch government and see if they're in a good mood and in making some money available to Burgeo. The outcrop at the school, you've heard some talk from council on this. Apparently, the Minister of Education, Jerry Reed, was in Burgeo some time ago. He saw the situation and felt it should go as well. The town council followed up with a letter requesting that that would be removed. However, we haven't had any response. You know, it's, I don't know, it seems like the only ones who's concerned about that outcrop is the Burgeo Town Council. The school board doesn't seem to be too concerned, and but anyways, the town did submit another letter, and we're just waiting to see what the response is going to be. We've also been informed that funding has been made available to complete the paving of the Park Road. So the areas on the Park Road going to Sandbanks Park, apparently that's going to be paved sometime this spring or summer. The Economic Development Officer gave us a report, and in that report, it was a very good report he gave us. The only thing that I would comment on is the Red Island Initiative, which Mr. Hillier alluded to in his last address, and you know, that's sort of an exciting thing, that if you know you get $1 million or so spent into Burgeo for something like that, and guaranteed that some of the money will remain in Burgeo. So I think it's in the very near future what site is going to be picked for this motion picture. The decision will be made, and we're sort of hoping that it will be Burgeo. A letter was received from the Honorable Paul Martin, and I got no intention of reading the letter, but it's regarding his visit to Burgeo, and he thanked everybody and so on. But in the one paragraph, he does state, "I am grateful for the exchange of views we were able to share on the issues of scientific research, seal populations and their effects on stock recovery and the viability of the fishing industry. I look forward to such future deliberations, as I genuinely believe that government's ability to make good policy decisions depends greatly on our willingness to seek and consider local knowledge and participation. So, you know, he didn't go away, I suppose, and forget us completely. And so that was just a thank you letter and so on, which came from Mr. Martin. As you saw on television, there's been more water samples done by the Department of the Environment, and the samples all came back good. For some of you, if you're interested, the Department of Health has made available a brochure. It's at the Town Council office. It's called What You Should Know About Roadside Spring Water and Drinking Water Awareness. So, you know, if any of you would want to read that little brochure, it's put there by the Department of Health, the health inspector. You can pick up one at the town office. The town manager also advised us that there's no more oil to be dumped at our dump site, at the town dump. So in future, I don't know what the garages and one and the other is going to do, but you're not allowed to put oil into the town dump. With regard to the, I'll call the Seacrest development out there where the old government shed used to be, men are working there again. They hopes to have it fully completed in time for the lump season. The only thing is, the big question mark, of course, is will there be any lump? However, the manager also advises me that he was in contact with Mr. Steve Noseworthy, and they hope to have everything going this year, and the closure of the 3PN fishery that he doesn't feel will have any impact on the facility which they have in Burgeo. Councillor Dave McDonald, who's been working on the cell phones, advised council that apparently the official position of Newtel is that, or Newtel Mobility, that in order to cover the Burgeo Road, that 2 more towers will be required, and at a cost of $600,000 each, which means $1.2 million. I don't think it's in their budget for this year. Anyway, that's the situation with regard to cell phones, and council is still working with regard to trying to get cell phone coverage on the Burgeo Road. It was also moved at our meeting last night that in future, it's not ready yet, you'll be informed more of this, but you will be able to pay your town taxes and so on at the Bank of Nova Scotia. You will be able to pay that through the bank. Now, there's different ways it can be done. I think, you know, I'm not well up on just what it is, but as I saw it, and I guess the councillors as well, it seemed as if it will mean a saving to the town council, and at the same time we will be supporting local business, and which in this case will be our local bank. So that's something to look forward to, which will be coming up, and the clerk, no doubt, will put everything on televisions and get some information out so that everybody will be aware of the different ways which you'll be able to pay your taxes at the town office and through the bank. With regards to the arena, Councillor John Grant advised council that they still doesn't have it in writing with regard to the money for the arena, and I've been asked, and most of the councillors last night agreed that they'd been approached as well with regard to what involvement the council has. Well, the only involvement that the council has is the council have committed the $100,000 plus which was raised for that to the committee. Council has been the vehicle by which the money is coming through, because that's the only way it could be accessed, was the infrastructure program, the capital works program, and that had to go through council. But council have not committed anything to this arena. Our commitment to the committee has been quite simply that each year council does budget $10,000 for recreational purposes in the town of Burgeo, and that undoubtedly some of that money possibly would be available to the committee to operate the arena. You know, I don't know, this money is, if it's coming from government, they're putting the money in there. If they want to do it, then I think we would be crazy not to accept it. That's one thing. Also, the committee is working very diligently to see if the engineering cost for this building can be got rid of. It doesn't make any sense. The building which they're putting there is a pre-designed, pre-engineered building, and why you would have to go out and pay, you know, some $80, $90, $100,000 to have engineers design something that's already being designed. It just doesn't make any sense with us. So the committee is working to try to get rid of that, and hopefully they'll be successful. I know I certainly don't feel bad that the government of Newfoundland wants to throw $800,000–900,000 into Burgeo. It's only this week they completely forgave a loan for the town of Badger in the amount of $1.7 million. That was a loan which they had to the Newfoundland Municipal Financing Corporation. Your town has many loans through that same corporation, which we've got to pay. Badger was forgiven theirs, $1.7 million worth, which is a pretty good gift. It's only last year they forgave the town of Wabana to the tune of $5 million. So if they want to give us $1 million for a facility in Burgeo, I think we should take it. And if we can't afford to operate it, well, too bad. We just close it. But by all means, if that money is there, then then we should get it. Recently, I'm sure you can remember that we had a power outage. The outage lasted for 23 hours, which was a considerable amount of time. I had discussions with Newfoundland Labrador Hydro and expressed my displeasure with the length of time that it took to allocate just exactly where the line was out. And I'm pleased to say that there's follow-up in that regard, and I have had communications since the outage, and there's a Mr. Garland Smith. I don't know anyone else who have said they will be looking at that line with trying to improve it in some way so that we won't have to be out all that time for outages before at least they know where the outage is at. And he would be dropping in and having a chat with us in that regard, so I'm looking forward to that. I know that's been brought up to me and several councillors and so on as with regard to what happened in Portabass and Mr. Barry in the plant. Well, as I understand it, the federal government is, the wharf up there was turned over to the Harbour Authority. The federal government is putting some money in there to renovate the wharf. It was disappointing to see that Mr. Barry is ready to put $1.2 million into Portabass and has got product to put in there and so on, but that being what it may, I guess he's made his choice and it's money and he'll do whatever he pleases with it. That was just about it. The only other thing which came up, I was in receipt of a letter from a little 5-year-old in Corner Brook who would like for us to get some more ducks. I'm sure you're aware that all of the ducks are dead. And to be quite honest with you, Council last night was very receptive to the idea of getting more ducks. However, it was also agreed that Council would not be getting any more ducks until such time as the proper facility had been put in, if we should decide to go there, that we would need a proper duck house and watering and so on and so forth. So that's all things for the future, and whether we'll have ducks this year or next year or again, I don't know. Anyway, that's it from council for this week, and we see you again next time.
Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
Come for a good time and we'll sweep you off your feet with jigs and reels and festivals and the world's most friendly folk. Dance your cares away at the Kelligrew Soiree. Imagine that.
Off the Rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of a guarding movement fly-up. Let's look back to April the 28th, 1989.
Company right turn. Company mark time. Forward.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing RBP TV Bingo. On Thursday, we will have a rebroadcast of entertainment from the Badger Relief Telethon. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Please stay tuned now for entertainment from the Badger Relief Telethon. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.